Yeah, just a quick breaking news here. I wanted to comment about this Japanese market with all-time crashing numbers. The Nasdaq all-time lows. What is going on in the worldwide financial markets right now? This is a thing that is shocking to everybody. Everybody is wondering what are the causes for this gigantic mess. What is happening actually? Everybody's panicking. A lot of people are drawing out all their assets from the stock market all around the world. Especially it started in Japan and now it came into the US stock market. So what is going on actually? Um, well, what's going on is, of course, huge tensions. And again, I'm not a financial advisor or something like that. I'm just giving my opinion on a world event, what is happening right now. I'm not telling you what to do with it. Um, a lot of people are fearing the World War III scenario and a huge war in the Middle East right now, as tensions are rising and a lot of crises all around the world are unfolding. And this could be a historic moment in a dark sense. And people start to fear that. And that's why they're pulling out everything before they see a total collapse of the stock markets. They want to save up as much as they possibly can and get out of the volatility. Now, not only that, but as Peter Schiff, for example, a economist, right, one of the most famous economists in the world, has predicted or talked about since 2004 or 2005 when he predicted the first worldwide financial crisis after the new millennia. He was speaking about all the fundamental wrongs going on in the economy, meaning there's a lot of stuff that was made wrong worldwide, and that's basically the money printing, right? The huge deficits countries are running and the money printing they're doing instead of building fundamentally sound economies which can sustain themselves and which contain inflation and debt. Now, if you have too much government spending and not as much productivity to back the spending up and not as much profit and tax revenue, you are running huge deficits and you have to make up for the deficits with printing money and selling bonds, which is basically lending money, right, from the buyers. But this whole approach is a approach that is doomed to fail, and it could fail right now. I don't know how this all plays out. Like, in my opinion, looking at the events, I have no idea. It could completely crash down. It could just stabilize, whatever. Cannot predict that at all. But what I will say is that it's a very, very volatile and a very fragile house to build. It's like a spider web. You're creating a spider web by basing your economy on inflation and government bonds, selling government bonds to people, and acquiring debt. No, what you really want to do is common sense. Is you want to have at least a gold reserve as a country, right? You or a asset reserve. You want to have something that backs down your currency, right? That doesn't deteriorate that much. You want to get net positives, not negatives. You don't want to be in debt. You want to make profit even, and put on your government, on the country's treasury, right? The government's treasury, the country's treasury wants to exceed the debt. You want to be in a surplus of real money. You don't want to rely on taking debt with interest and all that nonsense, right? You don't want to rely on that. You want to have real productivity. You want to have trade net positives, if possible, right? And of course, that can vary. If you make enough money and you have enough money in your treasury, you can even have trade deficits. That's not a problem. But yeah, and you want to have, as a government, in theory, you want to have you want to basically print as little money as possible, right, and back it up with some real assets. If you cannot have a real, like, a currency where there's maybe like real assets, but you want to back down your currency, back up your currency with real assets you possess. This way, you absolutely prevent any inflation to happen, right? So that's the economic theory about it. So that's not happening, and that's why Peter Schiff is saying the crisis is happening, for example, right? Because now now the whole volatility goes down. The trust the spider web is getting basically dismantled, right? Yeah, so that's very crazy happening right now. That's a very crazy happening, and I don't want. Well, if you look back in 2008, right, the stock market crash, of course, had an economic consequence, or you could make the case the economics were causing the stock market crash, or they're just correlated. They are basically the same, but it could mean very bad times for a lot of people on Earth. Maybe for us, maybe the whole GDPs in the world are going down, and maybe the whole world economics is going to collapse with this. Who knows, right? If that's the case, if the whole bubble is busting right now, and the spider web is down, it's gonna be terrible times. Basically, it's huge. It's gonna be either hyperinflation, or we're just gonna receive less money because there's less companies around, a lot of bankruptcies, huge amounts of bankruptcies all around the world, less jobs and less payments as well, and maybe even some banks that don't give out money, like we saw in Greece, right, in the 2000s. Some people went to the banks and wanted to take some money out when the Greek economic crisis happened, and they were basically standing there not getting the money, which is absolutely horrible and terrible. But yeah, that's just my observation here. Let's see how this all unfolds. I think I'll be following a lot of Peter Schiff videos and stuff like that right now, and see what he says about it, and yeah, that's it. But as always, of course, God is in control of everything, so no real panic or fear, right? I have no panic and no fear. What happened. I'm just an observer. I'm observing stuff. If things are going to be hard, well, then so be it, right? And I just observed. I saw what went wrong. I saw what was right, and that's the most important thing for me. Contrary to the belief or the whole philosophy about not observing what's right and wrong, and just focusing on your own. Just focus whenever you're doing a net positive, right? It doesn't matter what's right or wrong or something like that. which is absolutely stupid and fails the whole purpose of us being on Earth, right? No, there has to be a blame game. You always have to blame somebody, right? If there's blameworthiness, whether it's yourself or whether it's others or stuff like that. But it shouldn't hold you back at all. You should just continue, but always, I will always be an observer. And so I observed this, I saw the mistakes, took the valuable lessons, maybe apply some principles for myself to help myself. And if I can influence anything, I'll influence it. If I have to write for it, everything. This is going away. Yeah, so that's crazy, man. That's absolutely crazy. And see you guys in the next video.